Hey everybody, this is Whiskey here, and welcome back to Path of Titans. And in this video, I'm bringing back Homer, my Tyrannot Titan. I used to play Homer almost exclusively on the previous server that I played, and I did that after the Tyrannot Titan came out. It's pretty much the only thing I played for many, many months, until just a couple months ago when I started playing more on Apex Killers, and I started trying out a lot of other dinosaurs and been trying to practice the Giga more, the PT Giga. So I've been developing a PT Giga character. Haven't totally developed the character on that one yet, but in the recent couple of past days, Alderaan has done some updates, and the PT Giga has been bugged, so I haven't been able to play it. So I'll continue playing that, and I'm kind of developing a personality for that Giga, and as it's kind of how I do it. I play it, I'll play a character for a while, then I'll settle in on a skin, and I'll kind of figure out what kind of personality it has, and then I'll start doing a whole character on it. And that's what I did with Homer. So I do like doing some of the realism and role-playing aspects of this game a lot, and in conjunction with the PvP. It takes a while for me to get really dialed in on something though, before I can really get into that part of the whole game. So I'm still in the works with the PT Giga, but I went back to Homer because of that, and I kind of like it reminded me how much I love this dinosaur, the Tyrannot Titan, and just the character of Homer. It was kind of a nice return actually, and it was a refreshing reminder of how much fun this dinosaur can be. The Tyrannot Titan is I've got several videos now where I've mentioned that this is one of my favorites, and it's a great solo dinosaur to play, and it's also even better in pairs, of course. But I just love the move sets on it and how strong it is, and the different abilities that it has. How you can choose, to use Feast for the larger opponents, or you can use a full brawler build with Fresh Blood and Juke and Heavy Bite, or you can do more of an endurance playstyle with Blood Soaked, and you can use they've recently improved the Frenzied Bite, where it does more damage now. It gives you 50% extra damage on that bite. But that bite is sometimes not as easy to land all three, and it's not giving you all that much more damage than just a heavy bite combo with regular bites. So I still stick with the heavy bite. So this is a little montage of some Tyrannot Titan fights. In this first one, me and a friend of mine are fighting some Novianas. The Novianas are back in the game, and I bumped into this. I saw this person playing again yesterday, and so he wanted to link up, and I did too. So we grouped together. I was at the Waystone, and he was already in Grand Plains, and I saw his combat timer trigger. So I was running over here to try to help him. I didn't really know what was going on. I wasn't in chat with him, and he simply put Noviana in the group chat, so I knew that he was dealing with some Noviana. So I came over here to help him, and his health bar wasn't too low, so I wasn't super worried. And then when I got here, I got jumped by all three of these Noviana. So I realized at that point it was a trap, and I think they figured out that he was waiting for a friend, and so they were waiting for me to show up. And I think only one or two of them sort of showed themselves to him, so he didn't know how many there were. I don't think at first, but nevertheless, once I got here, we went ahead and fought. And I was a little bit lower, so I was kind of taking a defensive position there and letting him come out here and be offensive. And we kind of started trading that a little bit. And right here, what I did there was the 360 or the 180 heavy bite. It's a 180. It's a heavy bite juke combo where you do a 180 and a heavy bite. And then I did that, and I guess I don't know. It did kill the first Noviana, but I didn't realize it, or it might have bled out, because then I hit my regular bite and killed the second Noviana, and the first one died over there of bleed. Later on, I spoke with him in chat, and I think he said he might have been hit by his teammate or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't expecting both of them to die, but that was a good illustration of the power of the Tyrannot Titan. super strong. Uh, it does tons of damage. They've recently nerfed its damage a little bit, actually, from 160 on the heavy bite down to 130, but you can see it's still very, very strong. Here we were going to hunt this Rex, and we got attacked by some dinos. This was another very good example of how strong these are. We were fighting this dino halfway in the water. Look how hurt he is already, and that's mostly from my partner here hitting him while he was actually swimming with him. And he's not in good shape at all, that dino. Really just a few heavy bites and melt him. And kind of made short work of him there. One of the nice things about the Tyrannot Titan is that overall, since it's been out, all these changes have been happening through Path of Titans. Alderaa's been dropping a lot of updates in the recent months, and the Tyrannot Titan so far has seemed relatively unscathed from it. It got a little bit of a nerf, but I think that was a good nerf from 160 to 130 damage. That's still a lot of damage. So I've been pleased about that, and it makes it a good one to continue playing. It seems like they're going to continue to support it and want it to be a very strong Apex. So this is a 1v1 I had with another Tyrannot Titan, and for 1v1s I'll put on fresh blood so I get the extra damage on the heavy bite, and then the terrifying presence for the extra defense as well. It's really nice on servers like Dynasty where you can just swap the abilities on the fly without laying down, because then you can really use you can maximize the strength of all the different dinosaurs out there. On most servers, you have to lay down and swap your abilities. But in some of them, like on officials, you actually have to go to a home cave to do it. So it's not always easy just to swap things out on the fly. But he did pretty good damage to me there. But you can see he felt like he lost that fight, and so he ran and forfeited. And he even mentioned in Global, like, what the heck is that damage? How'd you do so much damage to me? Really, it was just because I think I had fresh blood on, maybe, and he didn't. I don't know. But he was surprised. He says, dang, what bite was that? Well, it was the heavy bite. Yeah, it's no joke, but I'm pretty sure he had heavy bite on there too, so maybe he just wasn't expecting the level of damage that did. This is a clip on Apex Killers. After I died, I was growing my Tyrannot Titan back, and I encountered a glow plume. Starting to get hungry, so it actually showed up in just the right time. And not being an adult yet, this is a decently challenging fight because the glow plumes have a bite that ignores combat weight, and it does a lot of damage. And they've got a tail that's got very long range on it. So a good glow plume player would be a pretty good fight, but a pretty challenging fight here. But he ends up taking a lot of bleed and goes and dies of bleed out there. You're right there, you can hear him die. And then I checked the kill feed, and sure enough it says he died. So he was running with a lot of bleed. That's not the best idea. The Tyrannot Titan's very tough. I mean, it's on par with the PT Rex. It's got a lot of damage, and it's a little bit, I think it's got a little more health than a Giga, but it's not quite as, and it's harder and it's got a little more health, but it's not quite as fast and doesn't have as much stamina as a PT Giga. So it's a good fight. You know, you want to, if you're on a solo Tyrannot Titan, you're getting hunted by 2 Gigas, they're gonna catch you eventually. So you need to get into a good spot and brawl them out. Probably gonna lose that fight because they are very close, and the damage levels that they can output, but the Tyrannot Titan will out DPS a Giga. So in a 1v1, it's best to just brawl it out. Um, the Giga can run away, but if it wants to fight, you can brawl it. But in the long bleed game, the Giga is going to win in the long run. So you got to try to hurry up and kill it when you do encounter them. And this clip here was a PT Rex we encountered that was ambushing from the forest. And if you get a few bites on that Rex first as a Tyrannot Titan, with heavy bite and fresh blood, you can phase tank him, but you do have to get those initial few bites off. But he's definitely no match for 2 Tyrannot Titans, as you can see in that clip. This is a 1v1 I had against an Apado. This is probably the toughest 1v1 you can encounter. This or an OG Rex. The Apado is really, really tough though. They've got so much more combat weight and health, and the range that they have on their tail makes it a really, really tough fight. And in this case, I was using heavy bite with blood soaked and terrifying presence, so it's more of a damage dealing build rather than a bleed build. I think really though, when you want to fight sauropods, especially the Apado, it's better to use Feast and Blood Chilling Terror and just go with the full bleed and heal build, because you can bleed them out while you stay healthy rather than trying to get in and out too much and dishing out the DPS, because that can put you, it exposes you to risk a lot more. You're going in and out a lot more to try to get the damage done on them, and the bleed isn't working as well for you, but it can still be done, as you can see in this clip here. I like to try different builds and experiment with different setups when I'm in my fights. That's what I was doing here. I wanted to really see if I could do this without using Feast. It's really nice, I prefer if I could find a build that's more of an all-round build that can be used in a lot of different scenarios, so that you don't have to worry about sitting down or laying down to swap your abilities out. And for that, I like this build here. It's blood soaked with heavy bite and dash and terrifying presence. That build is really good for a lot of different scenarios that you might find yourself in. It's good if you end up fighting Gigas. It's good for a solo build in situations where you're playing defensively, because you've got the blood soak that will help you get your stamina back, which is very much needed in fights, and especially if you're trying to escape. And then you've got the terrifying presence, which gives you the extra defense that you're going to need if you get attacked, especially if you get swarmed by a pack or stuff that's smaller than you, where you need that extra defense, because you don't have the choice but to take damage. And then I like dash because it can help you close the distance on something that's faster, but it can also help you get away and avoid getting hit and get to a better position in a map quicker. And I find that more useful in more scenarios than juke. Juke's good to get a cheeky heavy bite on somebody, but eventually they're gonna figure that out and predict it and be able to avoid it, and it doesn't always land. So I think the dash, just personal preference, they're both really good, and I do swap them and use both of them. But I think just for if I was only going to choose one build and I could only use one thing, I think dash is more useful in more scenarios. So that's the one that I pick. It's very good for escaping a fracture, for example. If you get ambushed, you can use that dash to get away, like the Giga has its charge, the Tyrannot Titan has its dash. It can be used in a very similar way. So I really am remembering how much I've loved the Tyrannot Titan, and will definitely be playing this a lot more. This and the PT Giga, I think, are going to be the two that I focus on and try to get better with. Especially since they took away the bone break on the Rexes. I think this is a solid choice right now, and definitely better than the Rexes at this point. Although I gotta say, George did on Apex Killer server, he did give PT Rex the instant bone break on Crushing Bite again. So that's really, really nice, and that's something that it absolutely needs, especially since they changed it around and took its deep rumble away. I mean, that's a must for the PT Rex right now, and he recognized that pretty quickly. And I'm glad he did and put it back, because it makes the PT Rex something that desirable to play again. I'm not quite sure. I think he did increase the turning on it. He buffed it a bit, so it should be very playable and really good option. But I still think I like the bleed play style and the quickness and mobility of the Tyrannot Titan better than the PT Rex right now. I played PT Rex, as you guys probably know, for a long time, even longer than I played the Tyrannot Titan for. That was kind of what I developed my channel around, was my PT Rex Rupert on Arizona. It's pretty much all I played for a long time, many months, until the Tyrannot Titan came out. So I am, kind of ready for a change, and it is a nice change to play the Tyrannot Titan. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys, and as always, I appreciate you watching the video and clicking on it. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to do so in the comments below. And I do have a Patreon account if you feel generous and you have the means to do so and want to donate. That would be awesome, and the link is in the description below for that. And as always, I do hope to see you out there in Gondua. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.